Your solar business is losing thousands of dollars every month due to something as simple as poor lead management. You know it, and yet you seem to be okay with it. I'm Alex, and I've been helping solar businesses just like yours skyrocket their sales and efficiency by tackling this very critical issue. In this video, we're going to be diving into how lead wastage is hurting your solar business, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Stick around to the end because I've got some game-changing tips that you won't want to miss. And if you find this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment below if you like us to talk about some things in the future. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what lead wastage really means for your solar company. Okay, so solar companies pour thousands of dollars into generating leads, but many of these leads just slip through the cracks. I get it. You're doing everything you can. You're running campaigns, you're networking, referrals, you're buying leads, yet it feels like you're stuck in a hamster wheel, right? And guys, it's not your fault. So let me explain why it's not your fault. Every time you talk to a lead marketing agency, and guys, don't hate me for this, I'm just being honest, you know the truth, we all know the truth, we're all big boys and big girls here, let's put our big boys and big girl pants on, okay? You buy a packet of leads, it costs anywhere from $40 a lead to, I've been hearing some solar companies paying up to $300 per lead at the moment. This is your hard-earned cash. This is your money. So you buy a packet of 100 leads, and what ends up happening? We automatically assume and accept that 50 of those leads are just going to be nothing. We just literally took 50 on them and burnt them. Now the marketing companies are more than happy for you to pay for that, because they've done the hard work, they've generated the leads, which is hard for them. But let's face it, we are accepting here, I'm not blaming anybody, but what I'm saying is we're all accepting that just 50% of our leads, at minimum, sometimes it's as high as 75% of our leads are literally just a waste. And we just let this happen. So the problem without proper lead management is that all that hard work goes to waste and you burn through a lot of money. So what exactly happens when leads aren't managed properly? Let's break it down step by step. When leads aren't tracked and managed effectively, they fall through the cracks, as I've mentioned before. So what does that mean? They fall through the cracks. You've paid for them. You may also have appointment setters following up, trying to book people in, because there are those, they're the 50% that we just accept. We just accept that they're going to be bad. And of those other 50, we try to book in about 30 to 40 of them. And then all of a sudden, we've got to verify them, use our appointment setters to get into it. So you're paying for the leads, right, which costs a lot of money. Then you're paying the appointment setters by the hour, or you may, some of you are paying them on annual salaries and that kind of thing. There's a lot of money there. And of those 100 leads, how many of them do your sales guys, your consultants, actually end up presenting to? And then from your sales guy's perspective, how many of those are they converting? So you miss out on potential sales, plain and simple. Now, imagine spending a fortune on marketing only to have those promising leads disappear because nobody followed up. It's like pouring water into a bucket with holes. If we were watching a kid do this at the beach, we'd be laughing our heads off, yet we're doing it in our businesses. We do it week by week, and we think this is okay. It's an acceptable way of doing business in solar. Why? Because the lead management, the marketing agencies, the experts told you that that was the case. Guys, here's a hint. There's a lot of good agencies out there, but there's a lot of agencies that are happy to take your money and learn with the training wheels on and tell you stuff because they know some metrics and you just basically believe it. We've got to make the changes, because if your profitability is burning because you're buying leads and working through getting leads in one way and then using appointment setters just to get an appointment, that costs a lot of money to that point. And then a lot of those people are just fishing around for prices. They're not all ready to buy. And so your profitability, by the time you actually make a sale, your cost per sale is very high, as well as your cost per appointment. Now you've got to be tracking these things. Now once you've got all those costs that are really high, your profitability drops, because in order to be competitive, what are your salespeople telling you? The leads are terrible. We need to drop the prices. It's all getting competitive out there. Guys, it is. I get it. Believe you me, I'm in the trenches there with you. But if we keep selling at the lowest price, you are in a race, a hard one, where you're running your ass off and you are in a race to the bottom. Nobody's going to win. Without cash flow, you can't run a business, only for a certain time. So what do? You've got to work things properly, right? I mean, what I'm saying here is frustrating, right? So guys, remember, you buy a lead packet for 100 leads, for example, you accept that from that packet, you're going to lose the bulk. And then, some of those you're going to end up booking 10 to 15 appointments. And from those appointments you're going to book, you're going to lose anywhere from 10 to 20% in no-shows, cancellations, reschedules. You live in hope that one day you're going to actually convert those sales, that everything's going to be all right. So the sales team struggles to meet their targets. They've got to spend time following up on the no-shows and the cancellations instead of working on value-added tasks. By the way, guys, value-added tasks is how you take profitability, introduce it into the business, increase your cash flow, and then you can scale. How many of you, be honest now, have been the exact same business for years? You just can't scale. Or you may have had to actually retract a little bit just to actually stay alive. And just think about how many solar companies do you hear about every week or every fortnight or every month that actually go under? So if you keep doing what you're doing, like I said, you're in a race to the bottom. Lost leads mean lost revenue, and that's a slippery slope to financial trouble. Question for you: why don't you automate your appointment setting and your scheduled appointments? Now, this usually increases book calls from 25 to 50%, giving you and your sales team more sales calls to potentially convert. Now, think about that again. Sales is a numbers game. I have been in sales since I was a young guy a long time ago, and I've worked for small companies, medium-sized companies, and massive corporations. And I'll tell you one thing about sales that the gurus have forgotten to tell you, because the gurus are always telling you it's about emotion, it's about this, and you've got to use this technique and that technique. And a lot of it is great, a lot of it is garbage. But here's one thing that's true, whether you like it or not. Sales is a numbers game. The more people you speak to, the more sales you're going to get. Right? So let's get your salespeople in front of more people. Once we're tracking the leads and we know how much it's costing us exactly, and we're booking more appointments, we can then start to focus on our sales team and wonder whether they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing or not. Because get this, I have coached over 1,000 companies with their sales teams. And every salesperson I've ever spoken to, 99%, reckon that they are pretty good at what they do. Brilliant at what they do. That's right. Can you believe that? I've got some people that I've spoken to in sales that are brilliant. I take my hat off to them, guns. But the bulk of them, I wouldn't hire them, and yet you hire them. Or if you're not paying them anything other than a commission, you're still burning your money because you're buying leads and giving it to people that'll never convert it. So before we get to the sales guys, let's leave that alone. We need to be seeing what's happening at the front of the funnel. And there's even stuff before that particular point of the funnel that we need to work on. But what I'm talking about and what I don't understand, and it amazes me, guys, is how much money and time solar companies will spend on getting leads, but not investing anything serious into tracking and managing those leads. Isn't it time to stop gambling and start looking at simpler yet more effective measures to engage your leads and convert them into deals? Unless, of course, you like hemorrhaging money and upsetting your sales team. Now, let's look at how these inefficiencies affect your marketing budget. Inefficient management or lead management equals to wasted marketing budget. You're investing big bucks into campaigns that aren't paying off. Now think about this. Every dollar you spend on generating leads is an investment. But if those leads aren't nurtured, you're basically setting the money on fire. You're pouring resources into these campaigns, hoping for a return. But without a solid follow-up system, it's all for nothing. Imagine spending thousands only to see no tangible results. It's not just frustrating, it's a financial disaster. right? So in business, we've got to be strategic and tactical. We all talk about it. But I'm surprised, guys, and please, if it's not you, cool, turn this video off. But if it is you and you're being honest with yourself because you're sitting back and you're thinking, I'm tired, man, of doing all these things and paying all this money and my business isn't taking off. How do I install people for the thing that I'm passionate about, solar, to give them solar if I'm not getting the deals, right? So you've got to be honest with yourself. So keep this up and your marketing return on investment plummets. Resources will get strained, as I mentioned before, and your growth will stall. It's like watching your hard-earned money go up in smoke. So when your marketing efforts don't yield the expected returns, it creates a ripple effect, reducing overall marketing return on investment and straining the company's resources. Eventually, you might find yourself cutting back on marketing spend, which only perpetuates the cycle of missed opportunities, and you get stagnation. Now, can you really afford to keep burning through your budget like this? And it doesn't stop there. Poor lead management also impacts how your customers perceive your brand. I'll talk about that a lot more in the future, but lead wastage isn't just about lost sales. It also ruins the customer experience. Inconsistent follow-ups and delayed responses that frustrate your potential customers and damages your reputation. Imagine a potential customer reaching out only to be met with silence or sporadic communication, right? You say, that doesn't happen in my organization. Guys, you know what the truth is? Each and every single time I look into it, there are people who haven't heard from your people in days. And often it's like, hang on a minute, this person made contact with you weeks ago. No one's made contact with them. That slipped by. Why? The director's too busy to look at this. The sales manager's too busy, doesn't know how to track it. Operations is kind of like working out how to get the install organized and stuff like that. So the leads that were genuine leads, where the sales team's crying, poor, it's the leads, the leads are terrible. It's not true. Not true all the time. So it's infuriating for them and it's damaging you because people talk. So when people feel ignored or undervalued, they lose trust. They talk in your communities. They think, if this is how they treat me now, what happens after I become a customer? No, not going to happen. That kind of negative experience spreads like wildfire, damages your brand, like I said, and send a lot of your prospects straight to your competitors, right? A bad customer experience means lost trust and loyalty. They'll go straight to your competitors, leaving you with a tarnished brand. So a single negative experience can ripple out, affecting your reputation far and wide. It's not just about losing one customer. It's about the potential dozens or hundreds who hear about the experience. You're none the wiser. Poor lead management often results in lost opportunities to build strong relationships with potential clients, hampering long-term customer loyalty. A negative customer experience can tarnish the brand's reputation, making it harder to attract new leads in the future. Now, are you prepared to handle the fallout of a damaged brand? So how do we fix all these issues? Let's talk about a practical solution. The answer lies in leveraging a solar-specific customer relationship management system. Implement a CRM tailored for the solar industry, streamlining lead tracking and automating follow-ups and providing insights into your lead behavior. This means no lead will get left behind. So here's a pro tip. Use the CRM's analytics to identify which marketing campaigns are working best. Focus your budget there and watch your return on investment soar. I'm going to wrap this up with a quick summary and some final thoughts. So let's recap together. Lead wastage is draining your sales and it's burning your marketing budget and it's hurting your customer experience. But with the right CRM system, you can turn things around. So if you found this video, guys, if you found it helpful, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different stuff over the future. So make sure that you also hit the notification button. But before we go, let's just think about one thing more about content, okay, that we can't forget. If we're not tracking our leads properly, we're burning our money. We literally are burning our money. We need to engage our customers quickly. So imagine a scenario where each and every single customer is automatically engaged by the best ad and email copy in low resistance sales language and text messages. And when people cancel, your system goes back to rescheduling them or working to get them back into appointment automatically. Our last customer saw a 25% 25% increase in booked calls where the automated system was working on its own against a highly experienced appointment setter. Now you think about that for a moment and think about your actual database being a mine. You've paid a lot of money for lots of leads. What's happening to all the leads that are now just dead and long gone? Do you want to keep going down that road? Or is it time to consider a change? The best advice I can give to you is get a solar-specific CRM that's got all these automations and workflows already built in. That's just ready for you to use.